Thanks for joining me on this afternoon walk with Rusty, my golden doodle. I'm in Eagle River, Alaska. Fall has begun. This walk will take us around our neighborhood and along the Eagle River. The other day, I posted a question. What is the one thing that could revolutionize America's political, economic, and social landscape? I then answered the question with honest money. In this video series, I'm going to explain with some nuance why a shift to honest money would have the biggest positive impact on Americans' lives. Researchers routinely survey Americans about issues of concern these days. Inflation, healthcare, political polarization, climate change, and public safety dominate. More often than not, the most concerning issues are driven by pundits and politicians in national and social media. These manipulators know nothing gets attention like fear and crisis. So our headlines and political discourse are all fears and crisis. It sure spins a lot of people up. But there's an old adage that points to exactly what's driving the train. Follow the money. Follow the money. Why do you think that is? Because you and I, have empowered money. Money is the most consequential non-thing in all of human society. I say non-thing when referring to money because fiat money, what we use in the United States and around the world, fiat money, is entirely made up. It's pure imagination. Money is a social technology built on a foundation of trust. Money operates by social agreement. Whatever we're using as money only works if we trust. Money is completely made up. But isn't it amazing how much influence the social technology has on our lives? Money and the financial system have been so hijacked and warped, we don't have anything resembling honest money these days. The impacts are profound and far-reaching for all of us. That we don't have honest money impacts inflation, healthcare, political polarization, and climate change, and public safety. But there's something we must remember. There is a fundamental disconnect between what people say and what people do. We'll explore that along our walk. I'm glad you've joined us. See you at the next stop. There's Rusty. Let's keep going, Rusty. There's our first view of the Eagle River. And here is our Sasquatch. We're at the Briggs Bridge overlook. That's east, looking up the Eagle River. The river originates at the Eagle Glacier about 18 miles upstream. This is our second stop on our afternoon walk with Rusty. We're talking about the one thing that could revolutionize America's political, economic, and social landscape, a move to honest money. I mentioned concerning issues last time. America's most concerning issues are economic. We worry more about money than anything else. That makes sense. We need to earn money to feed our families and live. However, America is a nation of opulence. Why can't we just enjoy the opulence? Well, follow the money. Our money system is corrupt. We don't use honest money. Politicians won't tell you fiat money is unsound, dishonest, hijacked, warped, or corrupt because they know whoever controls the money wins. It's as simple as that. This is a fight that has been going on throughout human history. How can this be so? That money is so powerful? Because you and I, empower it. Once money is empowered, the game changes. The money game changes from the fundamentals of economics, people doing things for one another, to a power game of who controls the money. Why don't we change the game? That's exactly what I'm proposing. But first, we must understand two things: money and the dynamics of change. You see, people always say they're for change, But there's a disconnect between what people say and what people do. Americans' number one concern is money, their money. But most are struggling. Most are losing the money game. About 20% of Americans are doing well. The top 10 to 12% are doing very well. They're millionaires. Now, I know $1 million is not what it used to be, but compared to everyone else, that lower 80%, the upper 20% are doing fine. But as I said, 80% are struggling. Why don't we change the money game? Change? Rusty's getting a little antsy. It's time for change. It's time to move on. See you in a little bit. Now we've got a little embankment to navigate. Let's go, Rusty. This is how it looks from the other end. That embankment could be a little tricky to navigate. It's kind of slick today. Thanks for sticking with us on our walk. It's great to have you along. I left you pondering the idea that if most people are struggling with money, why don't we change the money game? Well, people don't like change. We resist change. The only thing we like better than the way things are is the way things were. Here are some simple examples of the disconnect between what we say and what we do. People are always complaining about being nickeled and dimed. Buying something that seems reasonably priced, but with the additional fees, explodes in price. We universally hate that. Your rental car will be $50 a day. Oh, you want a steering wheel with that? That's extra. Though we say we hate being nickeled and dimed, research repeatedly confirms we willingly and enthusiastically spend more when we're nickeled and dimed than not. We say we hate it, but we always do it. Another example. One of Americans' biggest complaints is about corrupt career politicians. We say we hate them, we despise them. Well, how do they get to be career politicians? We keep voting for them. We hate all those career corrupt politicians except for our guy. What we do is different from what we say. One last example. People say they aren't addicted to their cell phones. They could stop if they wanted to, they just don't want to. Wherever someone's attention is, that's their priority, despite what they say. What we do tells us and the world what matters, not what we say. So, back to the money game. Do we really want to change it? Well, we know we don't like change, so let's examine the money game, or games, a little closer. See you at the next stop. This is a nice little overlook to watch the river meander by. Thanks for joining us, me and Rusty, on our walk. So far, as we've made our way, I told you we have concerns, and money tops the list. Most Americans financially aren't doing very well. The top 20%, that's about 66 million people, are doing great. The rest, the other 270 million, are struggling. Why? Follow the money. The first obstacle I mentioned is our resistance to change. We categorically hate change, which is rather funny. Life is change. The adventure we're on is an adventure because we get to experience change. However, change, deliberate, even positive change, takes effort. Now let's talk money and the money game. Remember, the money we use, fiat money, is completely made up. There's nothing magical or mysterious about the money game. We made the whole thing up. Money is a social technology intended to facilitate the functioning of the real economy, what we refer to as Main Street. The real economy is the money game. The real economy money game is people doing things, valuable things, creating products for and providing services to one another. Money facilitates the exchange of ideas and the products of people's labor. It's a very simple game. The money game is people doing things for each other. Money is a tool in this game. Money functions on trust. It's a trust tool. We trust whatever we're using as money, and beyond that, we trust the other players, people. We trust people will continue doing things we value. The money game is simply people doing valuable things for one another. Money facilitates gameplay. But once we empower money, once the tool becomes valuable, it becomes the objective, the game takes a turn. In the real economy money game, people doing productive things is all that matters. By empowering money, however, we make the tool the objective, not doing productive things. Money becomes the goal and the game changes. Most people working hard in the real economy think they're playing a fair game. We do productive things for one another and we all benefit. That's what honest money is meant to facilitate, the real economy. Once we corrupt money, however, we overlay a second game on top of the first, the financial game, a power game. That power game dominates the real economy money game. And now we have two money games going on. Two games, twice the fun. Well, let's talk about that at our next stop. See you in just a bit. We're next to the water now, the Eagle River. Rusty likes to put his feet in the water, but he doesn't like to swim. He always wants his feet firmly grounded. Firmly grounded. That's what we hope for and expect in our society and our economy. But that may not be in the cards, in the game we're playing. You'll remember I've talked about the evolution of two games, two money games. We have the real economy money game, where people do productive things for one another. Money is a tool in that game facilitating economic exchange. It's a great game. However, somewhere along the way, as we play the real economy money game, we collectively lose sight of the objective, doing productive things for one another. And we empower money. We corrupt our tool. Once we corrupt our tool, the tool, money, becomes the objective. And that changes the game. Most people don't see it, the new game. We overlay a financial money game on top of the real economy money game. The financial money game is not about doing productive things for one another. It's about getting as much money as possible. It's a power game. The power is control, ownership. In the financial game, control and ownership are all that matters, not doing productive things. The more control a player has, the more money he amasses, the more he can influence the real economy. Players with money control what productive people do in the real economy. Unfortunately, while the real economy money game is simple to play, do productive things for other people, the financial money game operates by a completely different set of rules. And to further complicate the financial game, the rules and the referees are in constant flux. The most ruthless and cunning players lobby and bribe the referees to look the other way and bend and break the rules. Yet still, we play. Most people don't know two games are going on. Two games with different rules. Most people think they're playing the real economy money game, an honest, fair game, where you are rewarded when you contribute. Power players play a different game, the financial money game. And because we empower corrupt money, the financial game dominates. Winning the financial game gives you control over the real economy money game. People just can't see it. They don't see what's happening, and they aren't interested in changing it. Or are they? Let's discuss that point at our final stop. Not too far away, down the river. See you there. Here we're at the rapids. You can see the water is tumultuous, like our games. This is the last stop on our adventure. It's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as Rusty and me. I opened with a question. What is the one thing that could revolutionize America's political, economic, and social landscape? And I answered, a shift to honest money. I explained something most people refuse to see or don't understand. We have two money games going on. The real economy money game, where people do productive things for one another, and the financial money game, where players seek to amass money and power, control over what people do. One game, the real economy money game, is simple and honest. Money is a tool to facilitate gameplay. The other game, the financial money game, is anything but simple and honest. It's a game of deceit and deception, a game of manipulation and intimidation. It's a power game. Look, I have nothing against people playing whichever game they want to play. We need, however, people playing the real world economy money game. That benefits us all. The financial money game, however, is more like a casino where the games are rigged. But hey, that can be lots of fun too. It's just not productive. The challenge is people don't know two different games are being played. Those games overlap. Since we're not playing with honest money, the financial game has come to dominate the real economy money game. People do not understand the game they are playing and don't realize to play, you must be watching how the rules and referees are constantly being manipulated. The financial game is always in flux. That's the nature of a power game. So, how do we disentangle these two games? How do we get back to a productive economy? How do we get to a fair game? By reestablishing fair and honest money. Honest money is the difference. Honest money will revolutionize America's political, economic, and social landscape. Honest money will return us to an honest, fair, productive, real economy money game. And we will all be better for it. Rusty and I have about 1.5 miles to go to home. This has been a great walk. Thanks for tagging along. See you soon.